Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my take on the ×3 Structure deck profile. This thing, I promise you, is not too good, but I mean it's good for casual play, or if you're just trying to get back into the game. I highly recommend picking up 3 of these, because it allows you to get a bunch of good hand traps that you need, and a bunch of really good staples. But if y'all want to actually make the deck something that's usable, I would suggest getting some stuff from the Mega Tins as well as other cards to kind of boost the deck to another level. Hopefully I can get a deck profile up with the full power Crystal Beast. However, I'm not too sure about what the deck does all too much. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on into it and I'll explain what things do, like I usually do for my videos, to kind of go into a bit more detail so y'all understand. Alright, so of course, starting off, we do have the 1 copy of Rainbow Dragon. This card is able to be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast monsters either on your field or in the graveyard. This card also has another effect that says that you can send all Crystal Beast monsters you control to the graveyard. Then this card gains 1,000 attack points until for each card sent to the graveyard. This also has another effect that says you can banish all Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard to shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. However, the main downside to that is you do have to shuffle this as well. Continuing on, I run personally 3 copies of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, because this card is in fact a Crystal Beast by name. So that means that it can be used for the Rainbow Dragon, or it can also be used for your like the fusion monsters. And since it is a Crystal Beast monster, it does go to the spell trap zone as a continuous spell if it is destroyed. This card also has another effect that says that while this card is in your hand and your Crystal Beast monster isn't involved in an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand, so I can put 3,000 attack onto the board. However, the main effect that we're going to use this for is that you can banish this card from your spell and trap zone while shooting as a continuous spell, to then special summon a Crystal Beast from your deck however its effect is negated, and it also allows you to add a ultimate crystal monster, which would be our Rainbow Dragon, which would be used for the fusions. Alright, so that's it for the Rainbow Dragon cards. Moving on to the crystal monsters, we do run, of course, 3 copies of Crystal Master. I was actually reluctant to throw this in here, however I realized that it is actually a really good searcher, because this can get you to practically any crystal monsters you need, like Crystal Beasts, Ultimate Crystal Monsters, as well as crystal spells and traps. However, the main cost is you do, in fact, sadly have to tribute this card, so that kind of clears off your board presence a little bit. But it allows you to get to like your power spells and stuff, which, I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't run it in my full build. Continuing on, I personally run 3 copies of Sapphire Pegasus, because this card says that not once per turn, when this card is summoned, you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hands, deck, or graveyard face up on the field in the spell trap zone as a continuous spell. So this kind of just gets your Crystal Beast monsters on field for your Rainbow Dragon or your fusion monsters. Really good. I like it at 3. I see most people run it at 2. However, I just think that I like this a little bit better. Continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Amber Mammoth. This card says that when another Crystal Beast monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can change the attack target to this card. Not really that good. The other Crystal Beasts, they're not really that good, but I'm going to quickly go over their effects. All Crystal Beasts have the effect of, if they're destroyed by battle, or I think it's just by battle, if it is destroyed while it is in a monster zone, so battle or card effect, I was incorrect, you can then put it into your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell card. That's an effect that all Crystal Beast monsters have. However, they all have different effects as well on top of that. Continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Topaz Tiger. This card says that whenever, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 400 attack during the damage step only. Then I also have 1 copy of Cobalt Eagle. This card says that once per turn, you can target 1 Crystal Beast card you control and then place that card on the top of the deck, so it kind of just recycles some of your cards. Continuing on, I do run 1 copy of Amethyst Cat. This card can attack directly, however, its attack is the damage is halved from attacks involving this card when it's directly. Then I do run the 1 copy of Emerald Tortoise. This card says that once per turn, you can target 1 monster that has that attacked this turn and changes to defense position, but it has to be a monster you control. Not really too good, but I mean, it works. And then 1 copy of Ruby Carbuncle. This card is actually pretty decent. It says that when this card is special summoned, you can special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your spell and trap zones. So the main problem is we don't really have that many ways to special summon this card out. I mean, yes, there are ways using like the fusion monsters, for instance, and I think one of the spell cards actually helps with that. I can't really remember right now, but Ruby Carbuncle is one of those ones that are decent, but I honestly wouldn't run it at more than 1. Continuing on to the hand traps, of course, we do run 3 copies of Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. I'm really glad that this card got a reprint. Right now, if y'all don't have your copies of Ash Blossom, I cannot stress this enough. Pick up your copies now before they jump back up in price. Then, of course, we do run 3 copies of Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. This card, I'm actually really surprised that they did reprint this card, because this card actually works really well against Tear Element, being able to stop them from being able to fuse by moving cards from the graveyard to fusion summon. So that's it for the hand traps and the rest of the monsters, actually. Let's go ahead and jump on into the spell cards. Of course, we do run 3 copies of the brand new Crystal Bond. This card says that you can add 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and then you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck as well to a face up as a continuous spell and a spell trap zone. So that just gets you 1 Crystal Beast monster to the hand and 1 on the field to be able to use your other effects. Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge. This card is actually really good, being able to add any crystal spell trap from your deck to your hand. Continuing on, we do also run 3 copies of the brand new Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This card has technically 3 effects. The first effect is that once per turn with the name of this card, you can, whenever you activate it, you are then able to normal summon a Crystal Beast monster in addition to your normal summon. So that means if you have this, and you can get into like your what is it called? Your Crystal Master, then that kind of just opens up your place to continue. But continuing on, the second effect says that during your main phase, you can destroy 1 Crystal Beast card that you control, or destroy 1 that is in your hand. And if you do, add 1 Crystal Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. So that can get you your Crystal Bond, it can get you your Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates, so it can get you just a bunch of your crystal stuff. And the last effect says that if a Crystal Beast card is placed in your spell and trap zone, even during the damage step, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and return both that card, the card that was put into the spell trap zone, and your opponent, 1 card your opponent controls, back into the hand. So that kind of just gets a card off the field, whether that be back to the hands or shuffling a card back to the extra deck. Really good card. Definitely a really good 3 of. Continuing on, we do, of course, run 3 copies of Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. This card has 2 effects. Pretty much the way that the effects go is you can reveal 1 Ultimate Crystal monster from your hand, then activate 1 of these effects. If you control an Ultimate Crystal monster, though, you can activate 1 or 2, so you can choose to either activate 1, or you can activate both effects in sequence. So you have to activate the first one, then the second one. So the first effect is you can take 1 Rainbow Bridge or Rainbow Refraction card from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Then the second effect is special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or spell and trap zone. So that can get you back your Ruby Carbuncle, or it can get you your Sapphire Pegasus to be able to continue your plays. Really good card. And then to wrap up the spells, I do run 2 copies of Rare Value. I do think that this card could be ran at 3 for sure. However, it was either this or I cut one of the Rainbow Crystal Beast Monster, the new one, or a Sapphire Pegasus. And honestly, I think that we want to kind of keep our cards on the field so that way we can kind of summon out our boss monsters. And Rare Value does require your opponent to pick one of your Crystal Beast monsters that are treated as a continuous spell or trap, or a continuous spell, not trap, sorry, and just kind of remove that off the field. So I kind of only run this at 2. I could see arguments for running it at 3, but I think 2 is just fine. Continuing on to, of course, the trap cards. We do run 2 copies of Crystal Miracle. This card is a Omni Negate as long as you control, as long as you destroy 1 Crystal Beast card you control. It just negates a spell, trap, or monster effect. Then this card has another effect that says if a Crystal Beast card is placed in your spell trap zone while this card is in your graveyard, even during the damage step, you can banish this card to place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up on to your spell trap zone as a continuous spell. So it kind of just allows you to put more presence on the board with your Crystal Beast to be able to activate your effects. And then, of course, the last card, in the main deck, we do run 2 copies, of Crystal Conclave. This card says that once per turn, if a face-up Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck. Yeah, you can special summon 1 from your deck, and then it also has another effect that says you can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard, then target 1 Crystal Beast card you control and 1 card on the field, return them to the hand. The only problem with this is you cannot activate this both effects in the same chain, which, I mean, not that big of a deal, but but sometimes it might come up. I'm not entirely sure. I don't play the deck too much. I've just been testing around and just seeing what this deck can do. And honestly, in the state that this deck is in right now, it cannot do much. Of course, moving on to the extra deck, because we don't really have too much to run off of, we have to kind of run 3 of each of the 2 cards in here. But of course, we do have 3 copies of Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. This card's requirements are 1 Ultimate Crystal monster, which of course would be our Rainbow Dragon, or the other card that we run, the Rainbow Over Dragon. We'll go over this card in a little bit. However, you can only summon it in a duel that you have summoned a Ultimate Crystal monster. So that means you would have had to have summoned the Rainbow Dragon first, or of course the Rainbow Over Dragon, onto the field in the duel at least once. But then after that, you can kind of just use this. The requirements to summon this are you have to banish 7 Crystal Beast cards you control, or in your graveyard, so either on the field or in the graveyard. And then you also have to use 1 Ultimate Crystal monster, which would be, of course, again, as I said, the Rainbow Dragon or the Rainbow Overdrive. And then this card also has another effect that says that if you have 7 banished Crystal Beast monsters with different names, this card gains 7,000 attack points, making it an 11,000 attack monster, which is not bad at all. However, the main use of this card is its last effect, saying that if this card has not battled this turn, you can... is it a quick effect? It is not. It is a quick effect. So, if you have not attacked with this card, quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon, shuffle all cards back into the deck, and then if you do, special summon any number of your banished Crystal Beast monsters. So, of course, whenever you do activate that effect, which is the main win condition of the deck, I hate to say it, but that's kind of it. You want to summon out 5 of your Crystal Beasts with the highest attack. So that would be Sapphire Pegasus, Amber Mammoth, Topaz Tiger, Cobalt Eagle, and then your Amethyst Cat, just to kind of be able to push for game and in the duel right there. Of course, moving on to Rainbow Overdragon, this card says that this card is always treated as an ultimate crystal monster, so it can be used for the Rainbow Overdrive, Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. Yeah, that card. They just decided to slap a massive name on there. This card says that must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by attributing one level 10 ultimate crystal monster from your attribute one ultimate crystal monster, which, hey, guess what, it's a level 10. So practically, if you can make this, you can just summon out this by attributing this for practically free. And then this card also continues on to say that once per turn you can banish one crystal beast monster from your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the banished monsters until the end phase. Then it also has a quick effect saying you contribute this fusion summon card to shuffle all cards on the field into the deck, which of course would require the fusion summon of this card, but honestly that effect doesn't really come up too much. It'll mainly be used for the Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. I've read that card multiple times and the name, I still forget the name, funny enough. Continuing on to what the very little bit of a side deck that we have, but that Konami has graced us with for some really good reprints. There is, of course, 3 copies of Dimension Shifter. This card really hurts Sprite right now, however, it pretty much just completely stops Tearlament. So, really good card, however, the only downside is you have to have no cards in your graveyard to be able to activate the effect to kind of make it to where all cards are banished until the end phase of your opponent's turn if they would be sent to the graveyard. Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Contact C. This card does say when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand to the opponent's side of the field in defense position. This card's controller cannot fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon unless they use this card as material. This card, I could only see a little bit. I can see a little bit of a play. However, right now this card is outdated in this format. But I mean, hey, it's a good reprint either way because hand traps kind of come in and out of being usable. So I don't think it's too bad to actually be able to run it. Of course, then we run 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone because Mystic Mine is, in fact, still in the format, which is not what we wanted to hear, but I mean, it's kind of what it is. Hopefully Konami bans it on the next list, or at least hits it in a way that, like, if they put it to 1, yes, a lot of people would be upset. I would understand why people would be upset, but honestly, I think it should be banned. As a person who plays Mystic Mine, they need to ban that card. And to wrap it up, we do run 1 copy of Crystal Boon. This card says special summon up to 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your spell and trap zone, and if you do, gain life points equal to their combined original attack. Then it also has another effect that says if a Crystal Beast card is placed in your spell or trap zone while this card is in your graveyard, even during the damage step, you can banish this card, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a Crystal Beast monster, you can either add it to your hand or special summon it. If it is not, send it to the graveyard. So practically, the way I see this card is it is kind of like Toy Vendor, where pretty much if you banish it for the cost, and then you draw a card. If it's not a Crystal Beast, you just kind of discard the card. But if it is, then you can just special summon it or just keep it in your hands. Not a bad card. Main reason why we run this is for Game 3, if we're going up against Mystic Mine and we just want to be able to gain life points, kind of just slow down our opponent from winning, or just possibly even take games from Mystic Mine players. Alright guys, that's going to be about it for the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you think of the deck and what you think of the new Crystal Beast support, which I, in fact, actually do like and think is a good addition. However, I can't wait to see what comes out in the new Battles of Legend with the Crystal Beasts. That's going to be very interesting. But be sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out the description for my Twitter link. And that's about it. See ya.